Welcome to Make Yourself Moan podcast. This is crazy. I have been dreaming this podcast up for the last several years. I had an old podcast called Love Your Van Life. I've since let that one go. I'm still a very huge advocate for van life. There's just so much more that I'm passionate about, and so many times I was asked, what is van life? It's a way of life more than just simply living in a van or traveling full-time, but this is a part of my story. I hope to do van life again very soon, as well as keep taking care of this farm. Yeah, welcome to the new podcast. A lot of you already know, my family is about to have a Netflix documentary drop in a few days that is focused around my dad and what he spent his entire life working towards. Some he chose, some he didn't. The misfortunes that came from being so passionate about the justice system and wanting equality for all and wanting people to be held accountable when they're doing very bad things. That's all I'm going to say about that. Team Elvis. My dad is the Elvis impersonator. Just so you know, as you're watching or if you've seen it and you're still unsure, my dad is the Elvis one, Kevin Curtis. My name is Madison Monroe Curtis, and this is the beginning of something very big, something I have believed in and felt called to do for a long time. It just takes a lot of doing. It takes financial backing. You can totally record a podcast with your phone, no external mic, and just upload. I am a little bit more of a control freak than that. I already had a microphone, but I'm using a $12 Amazon microphone. I'm using my nice Canon camera for recording, but I never did video on my other podcast, so this is all new for me. Even though I've done it before in a certain extent, I'm here to do it better than ever and take it way farther than I can even fathom right now. I believe in this, and I also believe in making yourself moan. For me, in this moment, that looks like getting my podcast off the ground. It looks like me sitting down and actually pressing record, talking about anything and everything. Nothing is off limits. Being transparently raw and vulnerable with you for a purpose, and that's to inspire you to also find a place in your life where you feel safe enough to be fully transparent, go deep diving into your past, and be willing to dig up anything that you've blocked out or covered up to simply coast and or survive. We need to be doing more than surviving. Life is beautiful and full of opportunities that aren't always in the form of a Netflix documentary dropping, but in having something to say and having the freedom to say it. Yes, there's always going to be someone out there that's upset that you're doing this, that's going to hate on you and make fun of you for doing something bigger than what they want to let you do, or bigger than what maybe they're doing. And this isn't to judge or compare you versus them. It's just to remind yourself there's haters, but there's lovers. And you need to do things that you love and that make you love yourself more, despite what the world is going to say about you. So that's what I'm doing. I'm nervous, I'm shy, I'm scared. I think, what do I have to say? Don't know, but I also do know, and I'm going to do this. So thank you for joining me on the first official episode of Make Yourself Moan. Isn't that sign really cool? I absolutely love it. What makes me moan? Flowers. My partner got me these the other day. Aren't they just beautiful? Fall. Fall makes me moan. We're currently in that season. Many other things that I will unfold to you as I unfold them within myself. And I hope that I can help you figure out some things that make you moan. There's a lot of different types of moans out there. Don't limit your thought process, your mind. Don't always be in the gutter, even though that can be a fun place to be here and there. But think bigger, think deeper. Alright, one thing I wanted to talk about is when you trade one dream for another. For example, not too long ago, I had my dream car. It looked a lot like this. You see this? It was a limited edition 4-door 2023 Bronco. Robin's egg blue, fully loaded. They only made 1,966 of those sexy things. At the beginning of the year, I said, I want this car. But financial reasons, I couldn't. They didn't even exist until the end of last year, and they were really hard to find. So when my partner was getting a new job, I said, to cope with you being on the road all the time, and if you're supposed to be able to make more money from this job, I think I can make this work. You might just have to spend more on the groceries at times. So a little bit of obsession and some calls later, I found myself driving 24 hours altogether. I was driving my dream car. It was great. It was amazing. Dreams had come true. I named it Genie because, hello, wishes, Aladdin. It was great. Until I went to go get my tag. That little piece of metal on the back of my car cost over $3,000. Why? I don't know. Out-of-state taxes. No one really could tell me. But that's what it cost. And the grumpy lady behind the desk, she wasn't going to change her mind. We put it on a credit card that we were about to pay off. That's fine. It's fine. It wasn't fine. I knew that day that something fell off. So I sat in the car and cried for about 30 minutes. And then I went and got a drink. Not that the drink would help, but I just could not handle how I was feeling. That I had just screwed not only me, but me and my partner's life, our livelihood. I realized in that moment my priorities had been off. I shopped outside of my means. The car alone cost $20,000 more than my yearly salary. I would then later find out that I was paying over $500 in interest each monthly payment. It was really fun driving that beautiful dream car of mine, but I never could enjoy it because I wasn't meant to have it at that time. Yes, it was really cool that I made it happen at a time when it didn't make sense, and I loved that I could show people, you can do it, you can make your dreams come true, but there's a cost. You can make decisions that bring peace while also chasing your dreams. After several months of it being on the market and me still having to make those payments, insurance, gas mileage was terrible. It was probably $1,500 to $1,600 a month just on my car. Finally, I sold it. The right person found me, found my Bronco, and her husband came down and bought it. She was in her 60s. She said, hey, I'm in my 60s getting my dream car. I said, exactly. I was in my early 30s trying to get my dream car. This time in my life was not the right time for that. If I had millions of dollars, maybe. And one day I planned and hoped to. But even then, I don't know, is it the best thing to spend $100K on a car? I guess time will tell, and it really just depends on what your means are, what your needs are. I wasn't able to drive it off grid and up and down mountains like it was meant to, like it was created for, because I had to just be not only at my full-time job, but getting photography gigs, scrounging for side hustles just to be able to make my car payment. Not so me and my partner can go out to eat a nice dinner every once in a while. Not so I can get my dogs better quality food. Not so I can help family members out financially when they're in a bind. But so I could pay for my beautiful car. So all that to say, I sold it. And I knew I would be sad. I expected to be sad. But instead, it was just lighter. I felt lighter. The world was brighter. The amount of opportunities that had now existed for me and my bank account just skyrocketed. Hence the podcast. The first paycheck I got, carless, I bought this sign. And I just started preparing for this podcast journey. That looked like getting a subscription for a podcast host, getting editing software that you can depend on, extra cords that I either needed or had lost, hard drives. I'll eventually need a new laptop because the laptop I've had is probably 10 years old and it cannot hold a charge if it's not plugged up. But we're going to get through this, and I'm going to use what I got while I got it. Lights to help bring out me. I know a lot of you won't care about these details, but I'm telling you this because it's part of my story and it matters. So I got rid of the car and I'm driving one of our other vehicles that we already have that we used to pull our truck camper when we lived in that full time. And my partner has his other car that's paid off. So now I just split the payment of a car that we already had and still need at the moment. And it's just more practical. It makes more sense. I feel like a better partner and teammate. I'm a better dog mom. I just bought my dogs a jerky dog treat advent calendar yesterday. It's things like that, the little things. It's the little things that is going to make each day, the work I'm putting into my full-time job, into these passions of mine, it's going to make it more worth it because I'm able to see more concrete progress each step of the way instead of just closing my eyes and waiting till the next paycheck comes along. So I can just give it all over to a company that it's not even really making a dent in my payments. What is a dream? A dream, what is it? Let me look it up. A cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. Yeah, that's it. A dream to me is something that you think about often. When you're zoned out, it's where your thoughts go. It's where you see yourself down the line. It's what you want and you believe that it'll make your life better, more fulfilled. Maybe it makes you feel like that is connected to your purpose. So everything takes time and energy. Thinking about what your dream is, that's taking energy. It's occupying space in your mind, taking that time and space away from other things, maybe actual responsibilities that you've already taken on. But it's important to allow yourself to dive in to the dreams that have not yet happened, but you should section it out. Because if you spend all day dreaming about what you don't have yet, and you let your responsibilities and priorities and that which other people now depend on you to do by pulling your weight and being a good teammate, that's important too. That's more important, because if that stuff isn't taken care of, how are you going to get to your dreams, and at what cost? Would it be worth achieving your dream if you let everything and everyone that you cared about and that cared about you just fade away, not die off per se, but fall off? So then you've heard that scenario where you get to the finish line and you look around and no one's there cheering you on. No one is there giving you water so you can rehydrate. No one is driving you home so now you can rest after your victory. There's a Bible verse, but it's also a song that Toby Mac, I believe, sang. And a part of it was, what does it mean to gain the whole world and lose your soul? That's what it makes me think about. If you were to put all of your energy into achieving that exciting thing that you want and doing it in a way that is isolating, doing it in a way that makes nobody that cared about you or that you care about want to still be a part of your journey. I think it's important to allow people to be a part of our journey. Right now, my partner worked last night, so he's sleeping in the guest room because I've made our bedroom partly my studio, and we sat down and ate lunch together after I let him sleep in here for a while. So then I woke him up and asked him if he wanted to eat with me. He did. Now he's napping, and then I'll make him some lunch before he goes off to work. So it's a tug and pull. It's a, hey, I need this from you. What can I do for you? Hey, I'm happy to do that for you. If you want, you can do this for me. We communicate. We are a partnership. Right now my dogs are outside playing, but before this I was playing tug of war with them, with a stuffed animal, and picking them up and hugging all over them, because I don't want to spend all day recording and then go to bed tonight and think I didn't spend any time with my dogs. Are you putting aside money for your dreams? I needed some money to be able to get the things that I decided were important for this to feel legit. So since selling my car, I've done that. Now I can take my man out to eat. I am going to the store later to pick up some Thanksgiving ingredients because we're hosting Thanksgiving. And it feels so good to do that. I don't have endless money. I am already excited for my next paycheck because I don't have savings. I don't have anything as a cushion for a month if I didn't get my next paycheck. That is also a goal of mine that will change, but not without effort and work and adjusting how I'm already living my life. Divine timing. I used to put a lot of weight on divine timing. And while I do truly believe in God's timing, the universe's timing, that is one side. That is the yin or the yang. The other would be determined effort. Not giving up the first time there's a hiccup. My sign wasn't made for a week and a half when I was expecting it to come in the mail because of a glitch on the checkout side of things. So had to correspond with a company that was on the complete opposite time zone as me. And so when I was going to bed, that's when they were responding to my last email. Then I woke up and I responded to their last email, and it just took a while. It takes money for our dreams a lot of the time. Now, another dream of mine is to do daily yoga, daily meditation. That doesn't take money. I can meditate to silence. Meditations on Spotify or from YouTube. This morning, I didn't want to be distracted by my phone, so I just went outside and spoke to myself from a bigger perspective and described what I was looking at and what it felt and why I was choosing to sit out there in that way. So not all dreams cost money, but it's always a good thing to have a nest egg, to be actively feeding your one day financial dreams or needs, new tires, oil changes, hospital needs. You might wake up tomorrow with an epiphany of a new idea. You want to learn an instrument, get into photography, take your book and go get it published. All of that does take money. It's a lot easier when you're not starting everything all at once. Take it from someone who does always start everything at once. It can be done. I'm a procrastinator to some, but I do my best work under pressure. My partner recently reminded me of that because I give myself these deadlines. I put an article in a paper and I advertise this podcast, and I had yet to even start. But that gave me an actual countdown and lit a fire under me where I know I need to have a podcast with this name, but also an episode or two for anyone who is awesome and looks me up and says, oh, there is an episode. What do you think that would look like if they look it up and say, oh, well, that doesn't even exist? So those are my two choices. Those are my options. I think it's obvious which one I want to do, but if I don't put in that work, it's not just going to happen. And people only get so many chances. First impressions are huge. And when you don't show up for that first encounter, that says a lot. To some people, to a lot of people, that says everything they need to know about your character, about who you are as an individual, even though you can always change that down the road. That is always the stain on their impression, their memory of you, that first encounter. It is very hard to change that down the road. Possible, but hard. So I am going to continue down this journey in between my full-time job, in between the holiday season, in between my partner's work schedule that is opposite from mine. And I'm going to do everything I can to not let all of my other interests and goals fall to the wayside. But as you feed one, something else probably does starve a little bit. It's a rotation, like a pie plate on a, what is that, turntable, Lazy Susan. I got my goals, putting them all on this Lazy Susan, and I'm turning them around, and every second I'm picking off what I think is a higher priority, that is more time sensitive, or, oh crap, it's 8 o'clock at night and I haven't fed my dogs. So no matter what else I'm doing, in that moment I'm feeding my dogs and taking them on a walk. And because they need to go outside and be on a walk, I'm going to get that chance to go look up at the stars or the trees, breathe in the fresh air, hopefully not be on my phone doom scrolling because Not only do I deserve that deeper time in nature and with myself and with my dogs, but my dogs deserve that extra attention. I do believe that they know when I'm looking at my phone, I'm not with them, not fully. Some of you have kids, human kids, that are able to communicate with you enough to say, yeah, I don't like it when you get on your phone when we're playing, Mom, Dad. Ask them. Ask them. Speaking of dogs, you want to know something that I think is cool, but it's weird? I sometimes like looking up people's net worth. Why? I don't know. It's fascinating how pretty much everyone went from this to, whoa, they have lots of money. Coming from a household as a child and then as an adult who is always living paycheck to paycheck. And if you have $100 in the bank, you feel like you've made it. You're doing really well. But I also have been awakened to, I want more than that. It's good to have more than that because a set of tires cost several $100s more than that. And if you don't have good tires, then you can't have peace of mind. You maybe won't be able to get to work the next day. And then what does that look like for the chain reaction, the domino effect of your goals and your needs? Therefore, when I look at my net worth right now, it doesn't exist. The Google barely can even figure out who I am. It tries to show me other famous people with a combination of my name. But I don't have a net worth to Google. But one day, I know I'm going to look up net worth of Madison Monroe Curtis, and it's going to be a huge number. It's going to be millions. Just wait. And yeah, do you ever do that? Have you ever looked up your net worth? Is it hard to find yourself on the internet? When you make a username, is it taken? Isn't that just trippy? It's a really beautiful thing that we can find meaning in everything. On the other side of that, we can be bitter about everything and complain even about the good stuff. So before you go to bed tonight, look in the mirror or look to your significant other, look to your children and say 3 roses from today. What are 3 things that happened today that you are grateful for, that you enjoyed? Tell me that doesn't make a difference as you go to sleep, as you wake up tomorrow. If you made it this far, as the professionals say, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, and this is just the beginning. The more we do the same thing, the more familiar we get, the better we become. There is beauty in not being great yet, because there's room to grow. Thanks for joining Make Yourself Known podcast. I'm Madison Monroe Curtis, your host, and I'll catch you next time.